What is up, you guys? Today we're going to be looking at some anti-vegan and nonsensical replies I've gotten to my tweets, as my Twitter has been not blowing up, but it's been doing quite well, which makes me happy because I want to be an activist. So basically, I had said every time you drink cow's milk, it's because somewhere a calf tied to a crate isn't, which I thought was important to say because most people think cows naturally make milk. It's astonishing how many people actually think that it's just something that naturally happens, and I thought it myself until I was about like 16, 17 or so, which is really alarming to think about that I actually believed that until then. So just got mad at the dairy industry and decided, hey, let's do something that, just rage about the dairy industry, and maybe people will listen and think about their choices. People don't really like hearing the truth because they don't want to give up these products, but they also care. Like, if they didn't care, I think they would be honest about it. But they just like to beat around the bush and come up with these crazy ideas that justify somehow their actions. So this person said, "Vegan, you big hypocrite. Drinking milk doesn't kill cows. Your hunger kills cows." And I was like, first off, technically it does, but that's not even the point. The point is that it exploits animals by forcibly impregnating them time and time again and stealing their children each and every time, and just so that we can drink baby cow growth fluid instead of the baby cows drinking it. And milk is in everything, and I believed it was normal and healthy and ethical. It's not any of those things. But yes, technically it does kill cows because male dairy calves have no purpose in the dairy industry, as they do not produce milk, so they are either shot in the head after birth or sold to the veal industry, which basically means they are killed for meat as babies, and they're kept in crates beforehand. So it technically does kill cows, as well as the dairy cows. Their milk production declines / they can't stand anymore at around 5 or 6 years old, and that is when they are taken to the slaughterhouse. And I think it was the UK, 50% of their beef, I hate saying that word because it's a euphemism for dead cows, is 50% of beef in the UK comes from dairy cows. So a cow that lived longer but also suffered more. I hate the dairy industry. Anyway. Oh, cool, that's cute. Let's look at another one. Yeah, I was arguing with this guy, and his only logic was, no, animals are food. And I was like, are they also fur coats? And he's like, yes, they are. That's when I realized this guy wasn't worth my time. It's because it's being more well known that fur is unethical because it's unnecessary and cruel. We have no reason to take these animals' lives and torture them as well as they go mentally insane in the cages that they are kept in. So that's the same logic behind the meat industry and dairy and egg as well. But most people don't make that connection, weirdly. I didn't. I was like, I cared about animals my whole life, and I was against killing out of pleasure, but yet when we eat these products, we only do that for pleasure, and we still took their life. I was under the assumption that you could only get protein from meat and all this other junk. Like, you can only get calcium from baby cow growth hormones. No, there's tons of calcium, tons of protein in plant form. I don't know why. There's like you could advertise pee and say, get your vitamin C here. Like, no, you can not do that. That's not something we have to do. This man, yeah. Then I've argued with debated, I'd rather say, multiple carnivores. Like, they literally only eat meat. So Yeah, I talked to one and they're like, hope you realize you were destroying your own health and still killing more animals than a carnivore, all the best. And I was like, oh. And another person said, going vegan won't actually change the planet. Well, it kills more forests, causes more extinction, and kills 250 times more animals than eating meat. I'll make sure to only eat meat and dairy to destroy the effect of your veganism. I was like, wow, okay, lady. Of course, a lot of people are going to say that Cowspiracy is vegan propaganda, but if you want to understand the environmental impact of animal agriculture on the planet, watch Cowspiracy, which, it just makes sense, you know? We have the option to just grow plants and eat them. Get every mineral and everything, and seemingly vegans are healthier, or we can do factory farming and have, which is where 95 to 99% of meat comes from. I've seen different stats, they're all in the upper 90s, but factory farming, which exists because we breed, there's, again, stats are different, but it's like 56 to 70, nearly 70 billion farm animals into existence per year just to kill them and eat their dead bodies, which takes more farming of crops. Therefore, animal agriculture, I believe, is the leading cause of deforestation, ocean dead zones, species extinction, and then many other things. And it's one of the leading causes of climate change. And the UN and the study by Oxford have said that a vegan diet is the smallest big thing that we can do to reduce our environmental impact on the planet. So it just makes sense that you don't need to be breeding these animals into existence, farming all these plants for them, and then room for the factory farms and slaughterhouses, and then just killing them, and they have a horrible life in factory farms. They're literally killed the moment that they can be. Like, it's just abhorrent and really scary that I didn't even question this now, and it's hard for me to handle, but that's why I'm doing what I do. And I don't know why these like carnivore people, a lot of people think grass-fed is more like environmentally friendly, but on a large scale, grass-fed beef it's not sustainable, because the US would need all of its land plus parts of Mexico and Canada just to feed the US. And that's obviously not sustainable with a growing population and with climate change, as well as breeding these cows into existence that are gonna produce methane and all this stuff. But if everybody adopted a plant-based diet, we could actually bring back a lot of wildlife and actually bring back forests, because we would be using less land as it is more sustainable. So honestly, for many reasons, I think that we will have a mostly plant-based future. I hope I will be alive when the world is mostly plant-based, because, I don't know, this just means a lot to me that we quit torturing these animals and killing them for no reason but profit, because it's so evil that we turn sentient life into a commodity. Like, we literally, the chicken's entire life is so that it gives us eggs, and the cow's entire life is so that we constantly keep her pregnant and steal her baby so that we can drink her breast milk instead. And pigs are killed at 6 months old, so they're technically still babies. And cows' natural lifespan is like 20 years, but they don't even get to 10 years, which, I don't know. Like, people always say, like, look at your ancestors, and it's like, I mean, I've heard that they ate more, like, plants, but, like, they were obviously not living in a modern day society where you can just get any kind of plant, you know, and they did what they had to do to survive. And it's like people bring up the deserted island thing to vegans, but it's like, that's a whole different situation. That's like when you're in a life or death situation, like, would you collectively decide to take part in cannibalism? Like, you wouldn't do that now when everything's fine. Like, what you would do in a dire situation has nothing to do with what you could do when you have everything available to you and you're destroying the environment as well as your health, by the way, because there are many studies showing that vegans live longer. Our chance of heart disease and cancer is much lower, and that we intake no cholesterol as we don't eat body parts or body secretions, which cholesterol only comes from animal products. So we don't, like, I guess oil is the only reason we would get heart disease. I don't know if this is true. Look at Mike the vegan stuff, because he knows more about health than me, but I like to watch his videos to learn. Also, yeah, the woman was saying you kill less animals. Okay, yes, field mice die when you harvest crops, but more plants go to an omnivorous diet rather than a plant-based diet. So we are still doing the least harm as we possibly can. And that's what veganism is a way of life that seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of animal exploitation for food, clothing, is it, and any other reason. So if you want to know all those reasons, you can watch Earthlings or Dominion, which are very powerful, moving documentaries of undercover footage of factory farms and slaughterhouses and other things. So I can't even explain the amount of times people comment, bacon, and all this like really dumb stuff. It's immature. It doesn't like justify the fact that you're paying for someone's throat to be slit for you. I get that we have been conditioned into this society, and we even joke about killing animals for these reasons, but I think fur is the one being abolished first, because most of us don't wear fur, and if we do, it's not very hard to give up. Whereas food is something very integrated into all of our lives, and therefore our cognitive dissonance is very strong when we are conflicting with our morals, with our actions, because we don't want to give these things up. I don't know, going vegan wasn't really hard for me. It was like really easy, and it's something I take great joy in, and I'm gonna be vegan for my life and dedicate my life to fighting for these animals until I'm gone, because I just can't stop thinking about it. I just feel their pain, and I think about climate change and how there's going to be 1 billion climate refugees by 2050 and fishless oceans by 2048, and we just need to stop destroying the earth and all the life that's on it, because we are not the only species that matters on this planet, and we are also destroying the world for our children. And it annoys me that the older generations don't seem to care, because they will be gone by then. But it's awesome people like Greta are fighting so fiercely for our future. She's vegan, by the way, vegan for both the animals and the environment. She's one of my role models. She's really awesome. But the younger generations are the ones who are stepping up. And I feel like a lot of us aren't educated on veganism, but we are by far going to be the most vegan generation. And hopefully many more people in my generation will go vegan through education and making the connection between dogs and pigs, and how there's really no difference, because we have to be morally consistent with our ethics if we are, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I argue with these carnists all the time, but part of me thinks, you know, I can plant some seeds, I can make some connections to say, like, intelligence doesn't equal moral worth and all this stuff, because I don't think a man with 140 IQ should be able to enslave, torture, and murder somebody who is mentally disabled. That just doesn't make sense. Like, why have this high regard and love for dogs, but yet we slit the throats of billions of animals per year for no necessary reason. Anyway, if you want to subscribe to my channel, it's much appreciated. You can follow me at Instagram and Twitter. I'm at not today Tay. And, you know, not today Tay on here. Yeah, my name on those is Warrior for the Animals. So, I'm gonna be making a lot more videos. I joined an Anonymous for the Voiceless, so when I can, I'm gonna be doing activism videos. I need to even find somebody to film me, all this stuff. I guess I'm gonna do like Earthling Ed, Joey Carbstrong type stuff. Also, Gary Yourofsky is one of my biggest inspirations. Mostly been Earthling Ed, but Gary Yourofsky and Joey Carbstrong have been more of recent. Veganism is not a fad diet for rich white people. If you can't afford it, that's fine. The point of it is to do your best. But most people, it is accessible, and I encourage you to consider it, because we just need to make these choices that are going to impact those around us in a positive way, rather than choosing to be selfish and apathetic. So, bye or something.
I started vegan activism YouTube channel. Woohoo! Good work. Great work. Great to hear that.